Okay, today I'm gonna make salsa and I'm gonna fry everything. And all we're gonna need is onion, garlic cloves, some tomatoes, and I like my salsa really spicy. So we're gonna have a bunch of chilies. So what we want to do first is put a little oil in this pan, and you want to get the pan nice and hot, because if it's not hot, the tomatoes are going to start releasing the juices, and what we want is for the tomatoes to caramelize, and that's why I'm going to put them first. I'm going to cut them in half. And then with the oil, you want to not be able to hold your hand here for this long. You want to get a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ow, it's too hot. Right now it's not nearly hot enough. So the other thing we're going to do is I'm going to cut this onion into a nice big chunk. And I'm going to caramelize this and the garlic. To peel the garlic, you just press, and the skin should just fall right off once it's cracked. Or at least it'll be really easy to peel. You won't really have to work on it and get garlic all under your fingernails. And you just press and it peels itself, basically. So now I'm going to check my oil again. I use a little pan so it can get nice and hot. And I only cook a couple items at a time so that my pan can stay nice and hot. I don't want to overload the pan, because when you overload it, you're not doing what we want to do, which is sear this nice tomato. We're going to sear it, and what we want to do is grab a little bit of salt and just rub it on the inside. That's going to give you great flavor. I like to use sea salt, mainly because you can more finely control how much salt is going into your diet, and it has less sodium than regular table salt, and I think it brings out better flavor. So all you really want to do is, it's nice and hot. I can see smoke coming out of it. I don't know if you can see it. Here's a nice sizzle. So I have it evenly distributed, and you're going to want to hear that sizzle. You're going to want to check these tomatoes every now and again, like every minute to 30 seconds, depending on how far it is. But the main thing you want to do is hear that sizzle. You want to flip them when they get to be about this color. Not totally all burned, but the burn part is what's gonna give our salsa a real nice flavor. It's gonna give it a nice smokiness, and I really think that the more you cook it, the more it changes the flavor. Fresh tomato gives salsa a really different taste, and when I cook it, I like to cook it all the way. You also get more vitamins and minerals melds out of the tomato when you cook it more than when you eat it raw. So now I'm gonna do the onion, and just like I did to the tomato, I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt on the onion and I'm gonna rub it in. And that just helps release the flavor. You don't want to put a lot of salt, you just want a little bit. And on the garlic, I don't really think it matters too much. Again, put a little bit of oil in the pan. I'm using a really small pan so I can use less oil. And then we just place our onion inside the pan together with the garlic. Here you might actually want to turn down the heat a little bit. The tomatoes, I cooked them on high heat. This I'm going to cook on medium heat. So it gives the juices from the onions more time to release and you get more flavor out of the onion. It also caramelizes a lot nicer at a nice medium heat than at a high heat where it burns. So what I'm also going to do at this stage is I'm going to put my chilies in. And these, they're going to get a great flavor from being kind of fried. The better alternative to doing this is doing it on a grill. And everything, you can use a lot less oil. But here, by using a really small pan, I'm minimizing the use of oil and I'm trying to maximize how much flavor I get out of it. So everything's gonna start changing color. And that's pretty much how you want your onion to look. And the chilies, they're gonna start changing color. And the garlic is gonna start getting golden. And that's about how cooked you want this stuff. You just want everything to get a nice even cooking, for the chilies to change color completely, and you don't want any of this stuff to burn. So now I got everything in my blender, and I'm gonna add salt, just a little bit. You don't want too much. And I'm gonna add white pepper. You can find white pepper in your local supermarket. It's actually quite common now. It tastes pretty good. It gives it a nice mellow flavor. It's not quite as strong as black pepper. And it just comes together pretty nicely. And something my grandma would be mad at me if I didn't add would be this stuff again. She loves it. I use it. It's handy. But you can make your own spice mix, which I will be using later. And all I want to do is add a little bit, not too much, just so that the flavors can really mix. And then I'm going to blend it. And then I'm going to show you the next step that you need to do for this. So again, you're going to want a little bit of oil in your pan. And what we're going to do is fry this salsa that I've just made. It smells delicious, it's really smoky, and if you don't want it to be spicy, you could sift it through a colander, but if you want it to be spicy, you fry it, and it's going to be extra spicy now. What you do is you release the spiciness from the seeds that were contained inside of the chilies. So you wait till it gets hot, and then you just add I recommend doing this in a non-stick pan, otherwise you're going to have to be watching this pretty closely. And this is pretty much the last step. You just gotta make sure that you just leave it like this for a little bit and then just gradually start to sift it. And it's really going to change the flavor of the salsa. And that's basically it for this. There's also another one using dry chilies. I'm going to be making that later. And when you taste it, it's going to be amazing.